I've got a pick a card reading for you today with messages of love. And so I felt like in order to do some love messages, we do them outside. Before I start, I just want to thank everybody who's subscribed to my channel so far. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. I'm starting to grow this and I feel really good about it. If you haven't and you like this reading, please, I would love it if you could subscribe to my channel. Yeah, so in a moment I'm going to show you the piles to choose from, pile number 1, pile number 2, or pile number 3. But before I do, I've just got a quick nature meditation for you for 30 seconds, just to help clear your mind, and then from there, I'll let you choose the cards. Down in the comments below, I'm going to link a timestamp to your reading. So without further ado, thank you so much, and here we go. Hi, pile number 1. This is your reading if you chose the 17th and 18th century paintings. So we'll get to the book in a minute. The book is going to be a poem that I randomly generate from a dice method. Before that, we're going to do the main reading. So for your rune, you have Tiwaz. For your shamanic healing oracle, you have joy and integration. For your animal deck, animal guide, you have one of the blank cards. It's pretty cool. For the Rider-Waite traditional deck, we have the 3 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, 3 of Wands, Queen of Wands, the Star, and the Ace of Pentacles. And for the hand-drawn deck, we've got the 6 of Cups, the Knight of Cups, Two of Cups, a lot of Cups energy in this reading, the Lovers, the Page of Coins, or Pentacles, and the 6 of Pentacles. So, I'm going to jump right in here. This is a love reading. If you were looking for love, it looks like love is also looking for you. Isn't that great? Because you got so many cards here that show love. You've got the Lovers, first off, which is the quintessential love card. So, good for you. This is great for a love reading. You know, you've got Joy. So you're entering into a very joyful period of your life. None of these cards show me anything otherwise. Except, you know, we've got the 6 of Pentacles here. And that sometimes talks about like a dark night of the soul period. I think. No. Sorry. This one talks about balance. Kind of like a give and take. It's a person who's got a scale and he's giving to children. So you're in a position to give, I think, and to receive love and help. And then we've got, like I said, we've got the Two of Cups. I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but you've got it from both decks. And whenever a card is repeated twice, it's really meant for emphasis. So since we have the Two of Cups written twice here, you're definitely entering into this integrated union. Now, a lot of times the Two of Cups talks about self-love, and it talks about self-acceptance and kind of the merging together of oneself. And so I think you have, since you have both Two of Cups here, I think you have both meanings of the Two of Cups, because it's both an integration of the self and the entering into a union. So potentially you have new love coming in, or if you already have, if you already are with someone, then that person that you're with has helped you integrate the parts of yourself back into yourself. So you're either going to have somebody coming in who is helping you through that kind of process, or you already have someone in your life who's done that and is continuing to do that for you. So either way, you are in this very beautiful period. So I want to read the integration card quickly from the book, because it seems to be talking very similar about that Two of Cups integration thing I was talking about. So it says, "We are a sum of all our experiences in this and other lives. We all bring forward a wealth of knowledge, talents, and wisdom. One of the challenges is remembering who we are. We are bombarded every day in every way with messages on who we should be, what we should do, what we should wear, how we should live. These messages come from the media, society, our friends and family, and even strangers can drown out who we are really meant to be, who we have grown into lifetime after lifetime. Find some quiet moments in your day to identify and start a relationship with that small, strong voice inside you. Pretty soon, you won't hear other messages. Many times in your interactions with others, you hear that small voice that tells you something is not right. Your logical mind tells you to stop it. Nothing is wrong. Stop being silly, dramatic, or overreacting. You may ignore your inner voice in a quest to fit in, to be loved or admired. You do not realize that your inner voice is warning you that the other person's energy is not matching their words or actions. Listen to your instincts about this situation or person." So I don't necessarily think you have someone in your life like this. The end part of this is saying you might, and you might need to make sure that you are following your own personal truth. But I think that you've already found that, because we have the Star here, and the Star talks about our own inner light, that personal truth that I was talking about. The Star is also Aquarius energy, so you might be an Aquarius or have it in your chart somewhere. You don't have to. But this pile is asking you to tune into your own personal Aquarian energy, regardless of whether you have it or not. It's that inner light, your inner guidance, that North Star. And actually, I didn't talk about it yet, but Tiwaz, the rune, is all about, it's a couple of things. It's got some masculine energy sometimes, and it's all about making an oath, but it's also following the guidance of the North Star, right? So we've got that here too. Let your conscience be your guide, from, is that Pinocchio? With the cricket from Pinocchio? I'm getting that image in my head right now. So that's also this little arrow. See, the arrow is pointing to that star. Like, follow your inner guidance. You're being asked to follow the inner wisdom within you, especially with this integration card. And by doing so, you're opening yourself up to this deep inner sense of love. And that could be with another person. Like I was saying, I do think you have somebody coming in, or you have someone in your life who helps you with that kind of love. But more importantly, I think that you are coming into that period with yourself. We've got the Ace of Pentacles here. The aces are all about beginnings, and we also have the Page of Pentacles. The pages are the people in the suit who are just starting out their journey into that. So you're into a new journey towards material abundance, physical health, all the things that are physically coming to you, physical manifestation, not necessarily manifestation because that's the wands, but it's abundance, physical material abundance. You have that coming to you. You're starting a new journey into that, and that might mean a new job or a new career or some new journey within your life that's leading you to that. And you've got the Knight of Cups, and so the cups are all about that emotional journey, the emotions within us. So finding your inner love here, because we have a lot of cups energy, the Two of Cups twice. The Knights are all about this like fast moving energy. They're movement within the suit. So as you start this new journey towards material abundance in whatever that is, you're also following this, it's coming from this heavy movement within this emotional fulfillment. And talking about that, you know, you have the Joy card. So you're entering into a very joyful period of your life. I'm going to read the Joy for you too, because I like this book a lot and I like what it says about these cards. For Joy, we have, we are created in joy. The balance of energy and higher vibrations brings us closer to divine love, pure joy. Joy can be a destination, but it can also be the vehicle that you use to get to that destination. That's really important. Faith, grace, gratitude, and love all merge together at different times and in different amounts to create joy. There is love, growth, tears, change, and self-realization in this card. This card portends a happy and joyous time. So that's the thing. This joy and this love that's coming to you, it requires action, and it requires, you know, like I said, we have this Knight of Cups here. It requires movement from you. So in order for you to break into this joyful period, like it's saying, joy can be a destination, but it can also be the vehicle that you use to get to that destination. So as you enter this new journey into material abundance, it's going to come to you, and it's going to come much easier to you if you follow joy. You follow what makes you happy. You follow the love that's coming to you, and the love within you. That joy. So I have heard it said a few times by different people that like happiness is less a thing to achieve, like something distant, more as something to live your life by, right? Any of us can achieve joy and happiness in any moment. And in fact, the only moment that truly exists is this present moment. All we have is right here and right now. So what that means is that if you are putting joy off into the future, or you are thinking that you've had your periods of joy and they can't come back. So I'm going to pause what I'm saying right now. We have the Six of Cups here, which talks about happy memories. I'll get back to this in a second. But like I was saying, if we get stuck in our minds in either the past or the future, if we put things off into the future, or we can't stop living in the past, then we are actually ignoring the only moment that actually exists in our life, which is right here, right now. So for you, this joy, in order for it to happen, you have to find it yourself, right here, right now, in this present moment. Find the things that bring you joy, and by following that, you're opening yourself up to this material abundance that's coming to you. And it can only come to you by following those joyful periods. Sorry, I see a squirrel over there. It's funny. So there we go. Okay, maybe you've got some squirrel symbolism coming into you too then, since I'm seeing one. Squirrels are all about like, oh yeah, so squirrels are kind of like this joyful energy, and in some senses it's like asks you to lighten up in a lot of ways, like, you know, just like lighten up and have fun, be funny, that sort of thing. But it also talks about like squirreling something away for the winter. So maybe there are parts of you that you aren't opening yourself up to, and like squirreling that away. So look into some squirrel symbolism, because I think that is an important sign for you. as I'm watching him run across my fence. It's really funny. Okay, back to the reading though. Joy, open yourself up to it. It's coming, but you have to choose it. You have to find what brings you joy. And then that Six of Cups I was talking about before, the happy memories from your past. Maybe there's something from your past that brought you a ton of joy that you've forgotten about. And you can find, like, don't live in the past, like I was saying, live in the present, but you can find the things that made you happy before and bring them back into your life. Integration, the things that bring you joy back into your life right now. Because it's open to you. And like I said, I think that this love, if you don't have this love in your life right now, I think some of you probably do, but some of you don't, in order to get to it, you have to bring joy into this present moment. And by following the things that make you happy, you're going to resonate with that person who also is happy in the same way. You know, it's the person who has the same joys as you, who wants to bring joy into your life with you and into their life, you know, together in this like union card, this like integration between two people. Yeah, and that love is speedily coming to you because you have the Knight. You're moving in that direction. You've got this motion into this joyous love connection coming to you. Be the star that you are in your life. Follow your North Star. Follow your own inner guidance, like this Tiwaz was saying. Okay, so I feel really good about that. I think, the last one we have is the Queen of Wands. I think she represents you in this. She is all about manifestation. She is making things happen. So she knows what she wants, and she is able to create it out of nothing, using the magic of manifestation and our own interconnectedness, our own inner power. She has an inner power and inner imagination and can bring that forward into her life. So you're being asked to do that. If you want to find love, it is waiting for you. You know, the things that you want also want you. I've heard that said before. So the love that you want also wants you and is waiting for you. Yeah. So we're going to pause that, and then now we're going to do a poem from this book here. So I'm going to start rolling some dice and speeding up the video, and we'll start getting that going for you. Among and 18th was artists around of. Okay, so your words were among and 18th was artist around of. So I'm gonna go arrange those into a poem now for you that makes sense to your situation. Okay, here's what I came up with. Was of artists among and around 18th. So, what I'm guessing for this one, a couple of things. First, you got 18th there, so if you're like waiting on something to happen or you're waiting to meet somebody or something, possibly it'll happen on like the 18th or something. Or if you live in like a big city and like 18th is a street or something like that. I don't know. Those are silly though. So that might resonate with you. If not, that's fine. The thing that I put together with the poem, we've got was of artists among and around 18th. So it's saying like whoever this is talking about, they were of the artists. They were an artist. They were around artists. They surrounded themselves with that creative, artistic spark, like we were talking about that North Star, among and around 18th. So for me, maybe like among and around their 18th birthday. So like you've got this youthful energy, even if you're not young. You know, we've got happy memories in there too. So maybe that like finding that inspiration, that artistic or creative spark, imaginative spark within you of that youthful self. You know, maybe you've got some like funny youthful love kind of feeling thing coming in your life, and regardless of that, that joy of being young and that potential energy, regardless of your age, that's what I'm getting for you. So I hope that resonated. Please leave a comment if you enjoyed that, and then if you could subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed already. I appreciate it. And if you would, I would really appreciate that so much, because I'm trying to grow this channel. So thank you so much. Let me know what you think. We're gonna move on. Hi, pile number 2. You chose A Scanner Darkly by Philip K. Dick, which is a great book. They made it into a really great movie that's animated with Keanu Reeves. I recommend it. It's great. We're going to dive into your reading. Before I start any of this, though, at the very end of the reading, I'm trying something new. I'm going to show a 30-second video of all of your cards, just so if you wanted to see them all up close, or you want to screenshot it if you want to remember the reading, something like that, feel free to do that. But that'll be at the end. This is the beginning. Obviously. For the book, we're going to do a poem at the end as well, so we'll get to that in a minute. And then most of the time, the books themselves haven't exactly played into the readings, but for you and your readings, I'll get into it in a minute. I really think that this book itself is giving you an extra dimensional message here, so yeah, I'll get into that. Your rune is Rado, which is, it's all about journeying. It's kind of like taking the reins of your life and journeying forward. Movement, going somewhere, but also this like self-reliance, trusting yourself to make something happen, do something. For your animal card, we've got the beaver. Beavers are very industrious. They're very hardworking to getting what they want accomplished. They also work together and are all about a teamwork mentality, groupthink, but yeah, that kind of thing. For your Shamanic Healing Oracle cards, we have Honoring Your Energy, and we have Ascension. And I'm going to read those from the book for you in a moment, but after we get into this a little bit more. For your hand-drawn tarot deck, we've got the Tower, Ace of Cups, King of Swords. I'm seeing a crow fly by. So for the last reading, animals that I've seen outside, since this is an outdoor reading, have also played a part to tell in your reading. So we've got some crow energy as well coming in here. I'll get into that. We've got the Six of Wands. And we've got the Two of Wands. For the Rider-Waite, however you pronounce that, tarot deck, I've got the Moon, the Page of Swords, the King of Swords again, the Three of Swords, the Empress, the Nine of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. Okay, so to dive straight into your reading, so these are all love readings. So this is all talking about love in different aspects. For you, in your life, I think that you're coming out of, or you're currently in, a period of heartbreak. And so I'm really sorry about that. It's really difficult to go through heavy heart energy, you know, going through hard times in love, and I've gone through them, so I totally can sympathize. I think that you've been really stuck in your head about it too, which is not fun. We've got a lot of swords here. This is a lot of swords energy, and swords are all about the mental body. And so I feel like you have a bit of an imbalance in that energy, so you're really stuck in your head. So we got to get you out of that, right? So we've got the Nine of Swords here, and that is somebody who's really anxious, really scared, got a lot of fears playing, a lot of things, and a lot of times they're not necessarily real or they aren't applicable to what's happening currently in your life, but they represent sort of, she's waking up from having nightmares, and they represent she's like had bad dreams about all of the bad experiences that she's been in. So I think whatever heartbreak that you had is something that has played over and over in your head. And I think that maybe there were some mind games going on. I don't know why, but since we have the King of Swords twice, I'm getting that it's an imbalance of that King of Swords. So whoever you were with is almost like a King of Swords reversed energy. I don't really read reversals, but in this case, I'm feeling it. That's somebody who's, almost uses the mind as a weapon. They're somebody who gaslights, somebody who manipulates. It's kind of a very manipulative energy, and I think that you're the Queen of Swords here, regardless of gender, whether you're male or female. I feel like in this sense you've had that happen to you, but I think that you're coming out of it, and the reason why I do is we have the Tower here, which signifies a major change in one's life, and oftentimes that's coming from a place where it's an outside of your circumstance, like outside of your control. Something in your life comes and bam, it just like upends everything. In my deck, it's based on this Swiss deck, which is written in French, and so it's called La Maison de Dieu, which means the house of God, which to me heavily relates to this sort of God in the machine, Deus Ex Machina, which is like, a Deus Ex Machina in a story is just something like wabam happening and like out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Like it's like outside of the story itself, something's written in. And then there was a flood, you know what I mean? Something like that. So I got that energy of like, whatever happened, like your relationship has ended. I don't think you're with this person anymore. I think that it's over. But I think that it's been in your head, regardless of whether it's over or not. But I think that you have the chance of moving out of it. And the reason why I was saying that this book really ties into that is this book is all about those sort of mind games. You don't really know what's happening. Everything kind of becomes really crazy. It's like about this, it's about this like undercover drugs and stuff, but they're all like, you don't know who's who, and everybody's being crazy and everybody's lying, and like, it's weird. It's a good book, but I feel like that kind of ties into it. Like you've had somebody pull a number on you, I think, and so that's kind of still weighing on you. But I think that you have the ability to move out of it, like I was saying, because we have a couple of things here. We've got the Honoring Your Energy and the Ascension card. I'm going to read those in a second, but we've got the Ace of Cups here. So the aces are all about new things, a new journey coming into your life, a new aspect, and so the cups are all about emotions, love, joy, happiness. So following your emotional fulfillment. So you're beginning a journey into emotional fulfillment. You're beginning a healing journey into love. So you have love coming to you. This kind of love is coming for you. Whether you're in a partnership now or not, I'm not sure, but I definitely think that you left one, like I was saying, and I think it was a doozy. But we also have the Two of Wands here, which ties into this Rado rune, because the Two of Wands is all about starting a new journey. In the Rider-Waite deck, it's a man with the two wands. He's holding the globe and looking out. It's all about journeying, taking a journey, traveling either physically or um, inward journeys, the journey towards moving on from whatever this happened to you, I think is what this is. And I think that as you move along this journey, as you move along this path towards love, okay, we got a bee as well. So bees are all about working hard, like a worker bee. They work hard on what they want, and they build these dreams that they have. They work hard. And then you have the beaver as well. So the beaver is also this like working hard, but it's also like working with people. Bees also work together in a hive, right? They work to make it happen. So I think that your journey towards emotional fulfillment is going to come from working with others as well. And I think that maybe because you've been in this sort of manipulative energy that I'm feeling here, I think maybe it's difficult for you to be with people because you've had some bad things happen to you. But these two signs that came in, I think, are really saying that you're going to find help through community. Community is going to help you get through this as well. We've got the Six of Wands here, and this is the victory card. This is like somebody who's riding on a horse, victorious. Like, they did it, they made it happen, they're celebrating, there's joy. So you've got that Lord of Victory, yeah. You're going to be victorious on this Cups energy, and like I was saying, you got to work towards it. The Rido also talks about following yourself and working hard, but you're working towards it, and it's going to come to you. You're going to be victorious in this. You are the Empress. We have the Empress here. She is this lovely woman who's sitting on a throne. She represents motherhood, fertility, but also, like, she's the powerful woman who makes it happen. She's like, and sometimes I think of her as like a CEO woman, power woman. Like, she knows what's up, she gets out there, and she makes it happen. You have that potential and capability for yourself. We have the Moon here, which sometimes represents being clouded within your emotions, but it also means following your intuition. It's very similar to the High Priestess. So I think that deep down inside how to move through this, and you need to find and tap into your inner heart and your intuition, like the Rido and the Beaver, making it happen for yourself. I'm going to read these two cards for you. We've got the Ascension and we've got the Honoring Your Energy. So Ascension first. This is talking about like trying to find a larger perspective. It's like seeing, what is it? Don't see the trees for the forest, or seeing the forest for the trees. It's like, don't hyper focus on something, but see the bigger picture. Some of those following a spiritual path have ascension as the ultimate goal. However, ascension, portrayed in art and literature as a great leap into instant nirvana, is actually a giant work of, art and fiction. Rather, ascension is the process of conscious living. We are all spiritual beings. We are all souls in a human body who are living life on this earth in order to learn and grow at the soul's level. That is spiritual. That is being spiritual. Whether you are conscious of it or not, you are walking towards ascension. Each experience, relationship, obstacle, joy, and creation will bring you one step closer on the ladder to where we all end, with greater awareness of ourselves than we started out with. So whatever happened to you is a deep learning experience, that those aspects are actually helping you grow into being a bigger, beautiful person. It's all part of your own inner path towards something. This situation, at its best, is a rung on the ladder of your soul's path toward ascension. The situation you are inquiring about is assisting you on this ladder. Work at the bigger picture and know you are bigger than any issue or problem you may have. So, these experiences that have happened to you, these tough and challenging things, they're aspects that are helping you grow into something big and beautiful. We've got the Honoring Your Energy card. We all have those days when we are disinclined to do anything. We try all sorts of mental tricks to talk ourselves out of doing what we should be doing. Does this ever work? No. We end up feeling guilty, a very low vibration, for not getting anything done, which causes us to try twice as hard the next day, which causes us to get overwhelmed and exhausted, which then leads to becoming caught up in a vicious cycle. Your body has rhythms just as everything else on this earth does: flowers, trees, plants, and the elements. The tides ebb and flow, and the sun and moon rise and set. Animals hibernate, and flowers grow, bloom, and go dormant. You need to listen to the inherent cycles within you. Rest when you need to, work when you need to. Don't try to outthink the natural rhythms. Go easy on yourself and reserve judgment. You are your own harshest critic. So, go easy on yourself too. You know, these Nine of Swords energy, these swords that are in her life, these are in her mind. Like, she's playing them over and over, but by her doing that, she's being really hard on herself. So the cards are asking you to find your inner guidance, your inner intuition, and to find that, and let that be your guide through life. And don't be hard on yourself. You know, when you need to rest, take a rest. When things are too much, there's no issue with pausing and slowing down. If you need to, that's what you need to do. And that rest is going to really help you on your healing journey. I do think that. So I think I went over most of the cards here. I hope that this reading is resonating you and is helping you out. Like I said, you've got the victory card here. So regardless of what's happened in your life, you're moving out of it. You're moving into a new period, the new cups here. This is what's coming into your life. So trust that. Trust that love is capable and possible for you, and that, you know, any dark periods that you've been in, any hard problems in life, any like dark clouds that you find yourself in, those are adding to your experience to help you grow, and you can move out of them. They're teaching you things, and so you know, use that ascension energy. Find the bigger picture here. Find a perspective that allows you to see that all of your experiences have taught you lessons. Try to think about the lessons that these experiences have taught you, and that can really help bring some ease of mind. I've been through some very deep, hard, dark places in myself. You know, this card here, this Nine of Swords energy, is something that's very hard for me to come out of. We got a ladybug here too. I don't know what ladybugs represent, but they're really cute, right? And really kind and gentle. So you've got some of that gentle kindness coming to you as well. You could look up ladybug energy. I don't know. Look up ladybug symbolism online, and it'll help you with that. But ladybugs here. These are really cute, right? So that's possible. You know, you've got that to you. Having anxiety is never easy to get over. But just know that as you work towards, you know, healing, and you work towards this new cups energy coming to you, like it's all gonna happen for you. It's all possible. Have trust and faith in yourself, because you can move into something new. And it's never easy when people do stuff, you know? But that's on them. That's not on you. It's not your fault. Whatever happened to you, it's not your fault. And we can't control the actions of others as much as we want to sometimes. And sometimes people are real horrible. And you know, I don't know why. You know, sometimes there isn't an answer for that. But we can't control the actions of others, but we can control the actions of ourselves, and we can't do anything about what other people do to us, but we can control our reactions to other people. sometimes that's the only solace we've got when really shitty things happen to us. But, to have faith and trust that these things that happen to you, you don't have to hold them anymore. You can let them go. You can let go the heavy heart energy. It's stuff that you can move on from. It's possible. Healing your heart is real. I've been working really hard on healing my heart recently, and I was holding on to some stuff that happened a long time ago. So this might have been a relationship that happened years ago for you, but you've been holding on to it, right? It's stuck in your heart. You haven't let it go. So, and it's playing over and over in your mind. So you're being asked to honor yourself and find a way to move through it. I know that's easier said than done, but it's here for you. You've got the Lord of Victory on your side. 6 of Wands. So you're gonna be victorious through this. So pull through. Like, I believe in you. You've got this. You've got this. You really do. You really do. I mean it. I'm gonna do the poem now. So I'm gonna speed ahead into the video for when that happens, and then you'll get it for you. Can't. And. Original. More. Theoretical. A. Said. Okay, I'm gonna make it. Oh, these were your words. Can't, and, original, more, theoretical, A, said. I'm gonna merge them together. Okay, so you got original can't and a theoretical said more. So for me, it's talking about that dichotomy again of being stuck in the mind, because theoretical is all hypothetical, it's all potential mental space, not necessarily real, and the original can't. So I guess what I'm thinking for that is like, whatever happened couldn't work anymore, and a theoretical said more. So something, the potential, there's more potential in the future. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. So that was your reading. Thank you so much. In a moment, I'm going to play 30 seconds of your cards just so you can see them. And then we're going to move on to pile number 3. So I hope that you like that. I hope that that was helpful. Let me know in the comments if it resonated, if you feel like I said enough for you. And then if you like this too and you haven't subscribed, I would be honored if you could subscribe to my channel to hear more stuff. So yeah, thank you so much. See you later. Hi, pile number 3. I had to move inside because it got dark out, but I can still do your reading at night. It's just inside now. So we're gonna get started. You chose Lord of Light by Roger Zelazny. Zelazny. I haven't actually read this one yet, but I want to because it looks pretty intense. I think I'm ready for it now. I've got a lot of books once upon a time when I was like aspirationally wanted to read them at some point, so I'll get to it. Maybe that has some kind of inkling into your situation. So these are love readings. This is a love reading for you. I peeked at your cards already, and yeah, we'll get into it. Anyway, you have Manas, which is your rune. It's the rune of like mankind and humanity, but it's more individualistic. A lot of times it talks about the masks that we wear, who we try to present ourselves as versus who we are deep inside, and a lot of times the disconnect between those two or the coming together of those things. For your animal oracle, you've got the prairie dog. Prairie dog is all about retreat, rest and respite sometimes, but knowing when to back down, knowing when to go and into seclusion. For your shamanic healing oracle, we've got anger and abundance. For your handmade tarot deck, we have Four of Swords, it's fine. The Hierophant, the Hermit, Five of Pentacles, the High Priestess. And for your Rider-Waite Tarot, we've got Judgment, Page of Cups, Ace of Wands, Four of Pentacles, and the Eight of Swords. So, like I was saying, I know this is a love reading, but I hate to break it to you. Well, no, I'm not going to say that love is not coming to you, because I think that it is at some point. But right now, it's not your focus, or the cards are saying it shouldn't be. And the reason why is you got the Hermit here, and the Hermit is basically your best option right now of how to move forward with where you are. I think that you are feeling kind of stuck in love right now in romantic settings, because we're talking about romance as the theme. The Eight of Swords is someone, as you can see, she's she's bound up and blindfolded, stuck with all these swords around her, so she's trapped. But the thing about it is she's very loosely wrapped here, right? She could get out probably pretty easily, but she's kind of stuck on her own accord. So this card, oftentimes, it says that we're stuck, but it also implies that we have the ability to get ourselves out very easily, or relatively easily. So you might be really stuck and stagnant right now, but you can get out of it yourself. And the way to do that is going to be adopting this Hermit energy, because not only do we have the Hermit, and the Hermit is all about going within, secluding yourself, being alone in order to figure things out, and being comfortable with yourself in your aloneness. But we also have the Four of Swords here, which is all about rest and rejuvenation. This card pretty much comes up whenever it's telling you to take a break. You need to take a break. That's what this card is saying. So you have that, you have the Hermit, and you have the Prairie Dog here, which, like I was saying before, is all about knowing when to retreat, taking a break when it's needed. And it's really showing me that that's kind of where you are. You have the Five of Pentacles here, which is a card that is depicted on the Rider-Waite deck as a person who's outside in the snow, kind of destitute, outside of a church, poor. It talks about loss, it talks about being in a period of darkness, but it's also kind of like darkest before the dawn kind of a card, you know?
where things seem bleak, but it's you have the ability to turn that around. And I think that, like I was saying, you're kind of tied up between things here. Um, you've got both the High Priestess and the Hierophant. And these two cards kind of represent two different ideals. Um, the Hierophant is all about tradition. It's following societal understandings of learning in order to move forward with the tried and true traditional whatever. The High Priestess is all about internal knowledge, following your intuition, deep divine guidance from your inner self, your higher self, your calling inward. And so sometimes these cards, it depends on the reading, but I found when they're together, they kind of represent that dichotomy. You've got a person who's stuck between understanding where, when they are stuck between following what they think they're supposed to do based on societal pressure, based on conditioning from childhood, what you've learned how to be based on what the world is quote unquote expecting of you. And then the High Priestess is all about um, following your heart and your intuition, um, and following what you need for you, regardless of what anyone else thinks. And so, because it's in love here, and you've had some problems in love just based on these cards, I'm thinking that a lot of that has to do with being hung up in these supposed tos from, childhood conditioning, societal conditioning, following the bounds of traditional relationships, maybe when those haven't exactly worked for you. We've got the anger card here, which is leading me to think that maybe you've been in situations in romance, or things haven't worked out for you the way that you've expected, and it's been making you kind of angry. Um, I want to read that card to you from the book here. A very strong and primal emotion, anger sometimes catches us by surprise. At other times it seethes just under the surface, simmering a long while until it boils over, scalding anyone who is close. Anger is based in fear. Fear of loss of control, fear of not being loved, fear of being judged, fear of not being enough. When anger enters your life, be it yours or someone else's, go beneath the surface and try to address the real fear that has triggered it. Anger doesn't go away without addressing the underlying fear. Alternately, beware of someone's anger directed towards you. Yeah, so, I think that maybe you are angry, and I think that maybe you don't know why. I think that things haven't worked out in love for you in the past, and you don't know why, and that angers you, which makes sense. But the Manas rune here is really asking you to look at the masks that you project, versus who you really are, and that dichotomy is exactly like this High Priestess and Hierophant dichotomy. You can't find love that's going to be successful and work for you if you aren't following your true self, right? If you are projecting a mask of what you think you are supposed to be, or what you think a relationship is supposed to look like, you can't find one that's going to fit who you are, really. You can't find a relationship that's going to be perfect for you unless you are following unquestionably yourself and who you are and who you need to be, based on that. And, a lot of times, from what I've heard, like, with relationships, it's tricky because there's so much that goes into them that we have a lot of expectations, right? Just based on our culture. Western civilization in the modern era, like we have so many stories of what things are supposed to look like, based on media, and then we have our childhood examples, right? Like we have our parents, we have siblings, we have family in different aspects, showing us different examples of what a relationship is supposed to be, of what love is supposed to look like. But at the end of the day, there are no supposed to's in your life. Your life is yours, and um, trying to force yourself into a box that you don't fit in is only going to make you angry when it doesn't work out, Like, that's just the way that it goes. Um, but this reading isn't entirely bleak. These are just the words you need to hear in order to move forward. We have the Judgment card here, and the Judgment card comes up when we kind of reach a turning point in our lives a lot of times, but it can only come up. It's when we review the situations that have gone on in our life, and we finally understand the reasons why things happened the way that they did. We allow ourselves to look back from our current perspective, if we have grown, or a neutral perspective, or a more open perspective, when we look back at our actions and the actions of others from situations past, and we gain clarity and guidance in how to move forward. The past doesn't exist anymore. Everything that's happened is done. So we can learn to let those things go, but it's important to remember to realize the whys, to feel like you've come to an understanding of what your patterns are in relationships, and how to move into something new with a fresh sense of yourself. You have the Ace of Wands here, which is all about. So, aces are all about new beginnings, starting something new, and the wands are all about manifestation, making something happen. So, you're about to start a journey to make something happen, to manifest something. And I think that since this is a love reading and you clicked on it wanting messages about love, I think that maybe you're looking to manifest love into your life. And I think that that's something you can do. But it can only come when you figure out the love that is right for you. We also have the Four of Pentacles here, and the Four of Pentacles is all about this person who is, he's hugging what he has, he's holding it, clutching it really close to him. So he's overly protective of himself, and not being vulnerable at all. And a lot of times this card comes up when it's asking you to let it down a little bit. He's being overly cautious in a way that's blocking him from moving forward. So maybe that's something that's happening to you, is you have a difficult time with vulnerability, especially with this Anger card here. Anger, like that it was saying in the book, it masks fear, but it's because we're afraid, we project anger over our fear as a protection. It's a protective mechanism, in order for ourselves to not feel vulnerable, right? And 1 second. Excuse me. In fight or flight situations, it's that same kind of thing. It's to protect ourselves from this vulnerability. So I think that maybe you need to go within and figure out why you're being overly protective, and why you potentially have a difficult time with vulnerability. You also have the Page of Cups here. The pages are all about new pursuits as well. They're at the beginning stages of the suit. You have the Page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King. And on those journey between them, the Page is the first one. So you have the Cups here, Page of Cups. So cups are all about emotions, love, that sort of thing. And so you're starting a new journey into love. But a lot of times too, you see there's a fish coming out of that cup. That tends to talk about the subconscious and something from our subconscious coming out. So I think in order to start this journey towards love, you have to examine what's buried in your subconscious. Use this judgment here on yourself and see your past situations and find what your patterning is. And learn to let go of the societal conditioning and follow your heart for you. And when you do that, the love that you need in your life will find you, because you will be aligning yourself with your true essence, with who you really are. And when you do that, then you'll find the love that naturally gravitates towards that. But until you do that, until you follow that, you will be mismatching yourself to that. Like you won't be aligning yourself to the right kind of love to find you. You'll be finding the same patterns that you've fallen into before. The final card that I haven't mentioned yet is the abundance card. So I'm going to read that from the book as well. Abundance takes on many forms: material possessions, friendships, excellent health, emotional stability, unique experiences. When you lock yourself into a narrow view of what defines abundance, or love, you lose out on the whole picture of what it could mean. Open yourself up to as many forms of wealth and abundance that are possible and watch your blessings multiply. Always remember that focusing on what you do not want, or what you do not have, is a surefire way to feed the energy and make that your truth. Every day, watch for signs of abundance from the universe. Acknowledge and be thankful, thus encouraging the continued flow of energy. Remember, the universe will always provide you with what you need. So, yeah, I think that potentially you are trying to find abundance as well, but I think for this reading, like I was saying before, it's talking about love in the sense of opening yourself up to more possibilities than what you are currently thinking. You have the ability to find love that will fit you for you, and I think that it's not going to happen in a way that you are anticipating, and I think that it's not going to, I think you need to change your expectations in order for the right thing to fall into your life and to flow into your life. So, that was your reading. I'm going to do the book now here and get you a poem from randomly generated words that I'll get from this book, and then that will add some further insight into your reading. So I'm going to skip ahead to that. Dagger. Eastern. How. Monk. Music. In. He. Okay, 1 second, and I'm going to rearrange these into something that makes sense for your stuff. Okay, this is what I got. Dagger in he, Eastern monk, music how. So, there's a dagger in this Eastern monk, but music is how he's going to get out of it. So, the dagger, the anger, Eastern monk, this being the hermit, going on your own, and then finding the inner music. Yeah, that's what I got. That's your reading. I hope that it makes sense for you. I hope that it resonated and maybe it helps. Please leave a comment if you like this, and I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow it, and many, many thanks to everyone who's subscribed to me so far. I really deeply, deeply appreciate it. Thanks again for watching this video, and thank you so much to everyone who subscribed. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. Feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think. I love hearing from everybody. Here is the final poem from tonight. Was of artists among and around 18th. Original cant and a theoretical said more. Dagger and he, Eastern monk, music how. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you later.